Now, a couple of weeks ago, the Commonwealth Bank caused a hullabaloo because they were going to move customers to a different account and then charge them $3 to withdraw their own money at the branch. And I remember hearing one of their executives on radio the day that they decided to put that on hold for 6 months. I think it was with Michael McLaren on 2GB. And he was asked whether the chief executive, Matt Comyn, would be making any kind of public statement. And he basically just said, thanks for your time, and hung up the phone. Well, now we know why. He said that he first heard about the decision to charge customers the $3 fee to take out their own money through the media. Joining me now is National Senator Matt Canavan. I mean, Matt, this is unbelievable. I mean, this guy's supposed to be the boss of the biggest bank in the country that gets a lot of support from the federal government because, as we know, the federal government secures the banks in this country, and he didn't even know about the plan until he heard about it in the news. I mean, customers are being taken for a ride.
Well, look, I've got no idea, Caleb, what happens within the Commonwealth Bank, but something's gone wrong here. Given the public reaction alone, you would think that those people making this decision in the Commonwealth Bank would have been aware, or should have been aware, that a decision like this would cause significant controversy, and therefore should be elevated to the senior leaders of the bank, including the CEO, to work out how they should make this decision. I mean, look, there's no doubt that the costs of distributing cash, holding cash, are getting more expensive. But I don't think the customers of banks want those costs to be recovered in this way. It was just absurd, and it got pulled very quickly. So I suppose the broader concern I have here than just that one decision is the sensibility of those people making decisions within the banks and whether they really understand the pressures that basic Australians are under. So while this decision received this enormous amount of attention, what about all the other decisions that are being made on a day-to-day basis that we might not see, where bank executives really just have no idea how Australians are struggling right now?
Yeah, and it's just all part of the gradual push towards a cashless society. You make it harder and harder to access the cash, and then the bank turns around and says, well, people don't want cash anymore, so we're getting rid of the ATMs and we're getting rid of the branches. Well, chicken and egg. The bank's made the decision that they don't want you to have cash. That's why people aren't spending cash.
Yeah, look, I'm not so sure this was necessarily of that vein. I mean, this decision didn't stop you getting cash out from ATMs. It was the same charges. You get no charges if it's Commonwealth Bank ATMs. Obviously, that's the vast majority of Australians would use that vehicle to do it. I mean, there is an issue here. I do want to support the option of cash for people, but we also can't be naive about the pressures that are facing the fact that fewer people are losing cash, and therefore the fixed costs of transporting cash, securing cash, distributing cash are becoming more expensive to do that. And someone ultimately has to pick up that cost. It either does get charged to those people using cash, or it gets recovered through the general interest rate margins that we all pay to the banks. So that's a challenge. Look, I do think, we also need to think about the technological developments here and things like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency that give people a lot of other options than just cash. The key thing for me is to making sure that people aren't locked in and they have choice. And there's no reason with those technological developments that there isn't going to be even more choice in how you store your currency, how you use that as a means of exchange. And that's a great thing. So, look, it is a bit scary and a bit off-putting, but I don't necessarily agree that we're heading to some kind of state-sanctioned control of our money because I just don't think government's going to be able to do that anymore, given the choice that's out there for consumers.